President Trump's Army Parade on Saturday drew some mixed reactions. It was filled with displays of tanks, aircraft, soldiers, and airborne troops.
The theme of the parade was aimed at honoring the 250 years of the U.S. Army's history. Soldiers wore classic uniforms that date all the way back to the Revolutionary War up to the present. Here is part of Trump's brief remarks.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight. And watching this magnificent display, our souls are filled with gratitude for every generation of warriors who have worn the uniform all the way back to the very beginning. We're the hottest country in the world right now, and our country will soon be greater and stronger than ever before.
Democratic Senator John Fetterman praised the event, writing on X, "This parade is comprised of our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers, the very best of the U.S., regardless of your politics. It's appropriate to celebrate the 250 years of sacrifice, dedication, and service."
Republican Senator Rand Paul, however, felt differently. Here he is on NBC's Meet the Press.
I just never liked the idea of the parade because I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and the only parades I can remember are Soviet parades for the most part, or North Korean parades. And the parades I remember from our history were different. We never glorified weapons so much, and I know he means well. I don't think he means for any of this to be depicted in another fashion.
Comedian Bill Maher had a bit of a mixed take. Let's listen.
The left does not appreciate America well enough. They have no perspective about it. They think we're irredeemably racist and horrible and colonialist. Should we appreciate America more and in more perspective? Yes, sure. But not tanks in the streets. This really worries me. I mean, I just feel like you're getting...
Yeah, that was a good mix of takes. Like Rand Paul, it's unsurprising to our viewers that I generally agree with him. I think also this costs taxpayers money, which I don't love. I think the parade was very interesting, particularly to military history buffs. The dress, the garb from previous iterations of military, that was all interesting. Some of the displays of the drones. It was riveting what I saw of it. I didn't see the whole thing. I was not here. Neither were you this weekend. My travel back to the city was certainly interrupted by the parade, but that's fine. I'm happy to be inconvenienced if people enjoyed the show.
But not by TSA, just by the parade. That's fine.
Correct. Well, I won't even get into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how about a military parade celebrating our victory over the TSA once they're finally abolished? But anyway, what were your thoughts?
We should always honor our troops. I'm in support of that. I want to unequivocally say that. That's important. But let's be honest. This was Trump's birthday party, and this was a flop. No shade to what's it.
Flop?
Yeah, I know that crowd looked like a flop to me. I'm just looking at real pictures. I go by facts. So it was also a $45 million spectacle. So we had robot dogs, we had tanks, we had helicopters and drones. This is
all those things are based.
Okay, these are the same party. This is the same party that wants to cut government spending, that wants to cut jobs, that wants to reduce social spending. And then the checkbook flies open because it's Trump's birthday party that happens to align with J.D. Vance's personal anniversary with him and his wife, that happens to also align with the military. Like, he'd attached the military to what we all knew from a year ago, or whenever he started talking about it a couple months ago, was his birthday party. And that's just what it was. And so I understand that he also, mixed the spectacle with power and had the tanks lying down the street. But I also have seen that when reporting in the past in North Korea. And this is not something that we do because, again, military escalation should be the last step as far as not being the first resort.
The difference between this and North Korea is that in North Korea, you're not allowed to make fun of it or criticize it the way you're doing now. They shoot you for that. Everyone in the state-run media has to say how glorious and wonderful the military is and how brilliant our leader who will live and reign for 1,000 years. Like, that's the main difference why it's not actually North Korean. We can make fun of it.
I also thought it was interesting because C-SPAN was rerunning it with the banners that say courtesy of America 250. And it felt very much like, it was funded by, people that support Trump. This wasn't just all about America. It was like, if you support Trump, then this is about you and his birthday. Also, one of the top sponsors of the event was Palantir. Are you comfortable with that? That they were just throwing all this money into an event? Exactly. So this Palantir, guys, in case you don't know, is a firm that tracks citizens, everything that they do, all of our private information, and is aggregating it for the government, because Doge and President Trump have asked them to, and people have issues with what they're doing with the data and how it's all being compiled. And so, also the UFC was getting ads. So it was almost like this government commercial that, really blended the lines of spectacle and power. And so I think, a lot of people rightfully would have concerns about not only the cost, but also at what cost are we attaching our military and our government to private companies.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I don't really disagree with you on this one.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't always echo every single thing Trump or MAGA thinks. It's not, to me, the greatest use of public funds. I mean, there was a reason to do it other than just his birthday. It was a
250 years in
day
the military,
to remember,
and we could have done it how the
our
military maybe wanted to do it, as opposed to how Trump wanted to do it on his birthday. We could have done it multiple ways. He could have celebrated his birthday on Zoom.
I'm gonna let you have this one.
Okay, the No Kings protest may have been the biggest protest against an administration in U.S. history, but that didn't get John Fetterman off the hook in his home state of Pennsylvania. We'll talk about that next.